Hello students, welcome back to the class. Today we are going to discuss few more points in the human anatomy and the physiology. In the previous class, we discussed what is anatomy and physiology. We discussed the bones of neck, bones of forelimbs, and at last we discussed the functions of the skeletal system. Today, we are going to discuss about what is a joint, what are and how the joints are classified, and what are the movements which take place at the time of the movement at the joint, and what are the exercise if you do, what are the benefits on the skeletal system. This is what we are going to discuss on today's class. The first we will see what is a joint. Two bones meet to form a joint. So today also I am inviting my friend Mr. Skelly to make the concept more easier for you to understand. I welcome Mr. Skelly. Yes. Here is my friend Mr. Skelly. So you can see this is an elbow. So this is a humerus bone and this is ulna and radius, where these two bones meet to form a joint. So this is called as a joint. So two bones meet to form a joint. That is called as a joint. So we have many types of joint. Majorly first it is being divided into three. That is freely movable joint. Skelly, please, we will just push it that side. The second is, this is one. The second one is immovable joint or joints. And the third one is slightly movable. So here we will discuss one by one. We will just see what is immovable joint. The best example for this is skull. Skull, it comes under the immovable joint, which is going to protect the vital organ, the brain. It's going to protect. So this is immovable. So there is not going to be any movement in this skull joint. So that is a good example for an immovable joint. And the second comes slightly movable joint. When I say slightly, it may be also called as partially movable joint. For an example, a rib cage can be taken as an example for the slightly movable joint. There is a slight movement in the rib cage because when you inhale oxygen, automatically the lungs expand. Because the lungs need space where the oxygen is filled. So at that time there is a slight movement in the rib cage. So when I say slightly movable or partially movable joint, the rib cage is the best example for that, where when you inhale you can feel that. Even when you are sitting now, you just inhale yourself. When the lungs expand, when both the lungs expand, you can feel the rib cage slightly has the movement. It expands and it goes back to its original position when we exit the carbon dioxide. That is slightly movable joint. Why this freely movable joint I have kept in last to explain? Because in this we have again divided few more joints which come under this. This freely movable joint is also called as synovial joint. I think so you have heard about the synovial fluid. When a synovial fluid is nothing but in all the joints we have this fluid which is going to help in the lubrication. If there is some sound, if there is some problem or issue or something stuck when you are doing cycling, if there is some problem with your chain sprocket or whatever it may be, what you do? Immediately you are going to apply the grease or an oil, any kind of oil which works. But for the human, inside all the joints, we have one type of fluid called as synovial fluid. We can call this freely movable joint as a synovial movable joint. That is, freely there is movement happen. So we will see what all the joints which come under freely movable joint. The first one is ball and socket joint. With an example, I will start because it is easy for you to understand. Two examples can be given for the ball and socket joint. The first thing is that shoulder, because this humerus is going to join with the shoulder along with the socket, and the joint is being performed. So in this joint, the rotation is possible. You can do the rotation. The another joint is that for ball and socket joint example is that you can see this, the leg limb has come, that is the longest bone in the human, that is thigh bone or humerus bone, which is being fixed to this pelvic girdle where you have a socket. You can see a socket line where it is going in fixed in that. So this is called as ball and socket joint. Next we will move on to hinge joint. Ready now? Hinge joints. In this joint, along with one axis, the movement happens. For example, an elbow. Only the flexion happens. You can take the knee. Only the flexion in the backside heel happens. So hinge joint is all about along in one axis the movement happens. So for best example is that knee and the elbow. This is the best example which can be given for the hinge joint. The third one comes pivot joint. Pivot joint is nothing but where the rotation takes place. In many of the activities when you are going to perform, the pivot is a very important role. The ankle joint can be given the best example for the pivot joint, where the each bones meet, rest each other and turns to do this joint's action, that is the pivot joint. And the last one is saddle joint. Saddle joint. Saddle joint, the best example for saddle joint is the thumb, because in this the movements will be very freely. It can do the rotation, front and back and up and down. This in other joints, this is being limited in the fingers and the wrist, but in the thumb, that is the saddle joint, where the movement up and down, front and back is freely done. So that is the best example for the saddle joint. This all the joints, this is 4 synovial fluid joints which comes under the freely movable joints. To just make it very clear, so what is a joint? Joint is nothing but where two bones meet. Where two bones meet, we call it as a joint. It is like when two bones meet, it forms a joint. So that is a joint. The joints are classified into 3 types. The joints are classified into 3 types. That is freely movable joints. The second one is immovable joint, and the third one is slightly movable joint. So So we will just go with immovable joints. I give an example, that is skull. There is no any movement in this joint. So because the skull is going to protect the brain, so there is no any movement in this joint. So the example is the skull. And the second one is slightly movable joints, or also called as partially movable joint. When I say partially movable joint, the movement will not be much and there is no immovable, but it's not like that. There will be a slight movement. For example, the rib cage. When you inhale oxygen, at that time, the expand of the lungs, where even the rib cage expands to give the space to inhale oxygen. So that is the slightly movable joint or partially movable joint. And the third one comes freely movable joint. The freely movable joint is also called as synovial joint. So I have just very clearly said that what is this synovium? In every joint, we have a fluid named called as synovium, which is going to help in the lubrication. So in the synovial joint or freely movable joint, we have again four main types. That is ball and socket joint, where you have a socket and a ball, which two examples was given. You can see this is like a ball, and even the pelvic with the four leg is going to be joined. That is the longest bone, the thigh bone. Okay, you can see this is the socket and the bone is being fixed to that. So that is called ball and socket joint, where the rotation increase in the angle of two body parts. So now we can take, this is the bicep and this is the forearm. When I am going to flex, that is called flexion, there is going to be decrease in the angle of these two body parts. That is called flexion. Second one, we move on to the extension. When I say extension, it is opposite to the flexion. That is, there is an increase in the angle of two body parts. Now this is in flexion position. Now I am going to extend my hand. So there is the angle is going to be increased in between two body parts. This is all about the flexion and extension. The third one is that abduction. Abduction is nothing but moving the part away from the midline of the body. For example, you can see both the arms I am moving away from my body. This is called abduction. This is the third movement which is going to happen in the joints. So we are all saying what are all the movements that takes place in the joint when you are going to perform an activity. So the third one is abduction. Abduction is moving the body part from away from the body midline. So this is called abduction. And fourth one, it is opposite to the abduction. That is adduction. Bringing the body parts closer to the midline of the body. That is called abduction. So abduction is going away from the midline. Adduction is coming closer to the body. This is the adduction. What is this circumduction? Circumduction is nothing but a circular motion is formed. For example, you see I am going to perform here an activity for the circular motion. This is called circumduction. You can see here, this is what called as the circumduction. And the last one is rotation. Rotation is nothing but a twist. So I want to rotate my neck. Yes, I am going to twist. I am going to rotate my hip. Yes, I am going to rotate. So this is nothing but a twist. These are all the various movements which takes place at the time of movement in joints. Various movement which takes place in the joint at the time of performing any activity. That is flexion, decrease in the angle between two body parts. Extension, when you perform this, there is an increase in the angle in two body parts. Third one comes abduction, which is going away from the body, the movement which is being swing away from the body. Abduction or adduction, the next point is that coming closer to the body or the midline, that is opposite to abduction. And the fifth comes circumduction. It is nothing but it is nothing but a circular formation which is going to take place. And the last one comes the rotation, where it is going to happen twisting movement. We just call it as a twisting movement which takes place in the hip as well as the neck. These are all the various movements which is being take place in our joints. Next, we will move on to what are all the benefits of exercise on the skeletal system. Yes, if you do exercise, there is any benefit? Yes, 100% you are going to have benefit in all parts of the body. But today, now we are going to discuss what are all the benefits which we are going to get through exercise to the skeletal system. The first benefit by doing the exercise for the skeletal system is it increases the flexibility. It increases the flexibility. So, by doing exercise every day, you are going to increase the flexibility in your skeletal system. You can try from today onwards, right? Touching your toes without bending the knees. So, when you perform every day and trying to touch it by doing some exercises, you can see the changes. And there will be a lot of improvement, and there is going to be increase in the flexibility. There is going to be increase in the flexibility. And the second one is bones become stronger. So first, as you know that the nature of the bone is already strong. This is what we study. The bone is very strong. Yes. By doing exercise, it is going to give you more advantage, and advantage is that the bone is going to become still stronger, so that you can perform any activity better than a person who is not doing any exercise. So the second benefit by doing an exercise on a skeletal system is nothing but the bones become stronger. The bones become stronger. The third one is it is going to strengthen the joints. Strengthen the joints. Strengthens the joints. So when you get older, all your joints get pain because a lot of movements takes place in the joints. The synovial fluid reduces. So automatically, by doing exercise, all your joints can be made strengthened, that is more stronger, and you can perform the activity better than the other person. So by doing the exercise, what is going to happen? The strengthening of the joint happens, so that your performing an activity would be better compared to the person who is not going to perform any of the exercise. So the third is very important, that is going to help you to strengthen the joints. The fourth one is good posture. So when we talk about the posture, there are many posture deformities. We say that what is a good posture? The angle of the shoulder, the hip, the malleolus and the hair, which comes in a straight line, we call it as a good posture. And proportionately, there will be an overall growth and development of the muscle, that is called a good posture. So when we talk about the posture, by doing the exercise, you can avoid many deformities like kyphosis, lordosis, scoliosis, flat foot, rickets. These are the many deformities which comes under the posture. So if you do the exercise, you can overcome all these posture deformities and you can maintain the good posture. You can maintain the good posture. And comes the last one is the good lifestyle. You are going to have a very good lifestyle. That is the fifth one. Lifestyle will be healthier. So the last point comes as the lifestyle will be much healthier compared to the person who is not doing any of the activity. So these are all the benefits by doing exercise. It is going to impact on a skeletal system. That is, it is going to increase the flexibility. The next one, the bones become stronger. strengthen and good posture, so you can avoid all the deformities. As I said, kyphosis, lordosis, scoliosis, flat foot, ricket, bone knees, all these can be overcome by doing an exercise, and that impact will be on the skeletal system. And the last term, you will be having a healthy lifestyle. So you will be having a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so today to summarize, what are the things we discussed in today's class? That is joints. What are types of joints? That is movable, immovable, and freely movable. In freely movable, again we have seen 4 joints: ball and socket joints, hinge joint, pure joint, and saddle joint. And next we saw that what are all the movements which takes place in the joints when you are going to perform an activity. We have seen 6 1: flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, circumduction, and the last one was rotation. These are all the movements which is going to take place in the joints when you are going to perform an activity. And the last we saw what are the benefits by doing an exercise we get to the skeletal system. There are total 5 benefits by doing exercise. The skeletal system, there is going to have an impact, that is increase in flexibility, bones get stronger, strengthens the joints, good posture, and it is going to help you to lead a healthy lifestyle. So once when you have a healthy lifestyle, you are going to have a wonderful life without any disease, defects, or injury. Without that, you are going to lead a wonderful life. I hope that after this class you are very clear with the human anatomy and the physiology, and you are going to start doing the exercise to improve all this in your skeletal system. And I am clear that you are okay with the concept today what we discussed, and we will be meeting in the next class. Thank you so much.